After all of the Thanksgiving festivities, I figured some of you'd be ready to get out of the house for a little bit. So the rut's in, we got a good chance of getting a deer. Come on, let's go. The rut has really kicked in here, and bucks are locked in with does right now, or at least they were last week. A friend of mine sent me this picture last Sunday of a nice buck from his game camera, and normally that buck wouldn't be out even in low light conditions in the open. And here's a clip of the same buck at night with the same does, and my friend has another picture of that buck in daylight. There's a corn pile there that brought in the does, and that buck isn't leaving those does right now. Where they go, he's going, and that's why so many big deer are taken during the rut, and why he was there in daylight. This is that same buck taken Monday evening just before dark. That deer would have never stepped out in that field in daylight if the rut wasn't in. A lot of us get excited about hunting the rut because it gives us a chance at mature bucks that wouldn't normally move much during the day. At the same time, it makes their movement very unpredictable. I saw a really nice buck last week on my way to work standing out in the complete wide open in a hayfield just after sunrise with two does. I drive by this field twice a day, 5 days a week, and I've driven by it hundreds of times over the years, and I've never seen a deer there in the daytime. So that's the last place on earth I would ever want to hunt. But there that big old buck was, just standing there in the complete wide open just after sunrise. We are here. I'm going to eat breakfast real quick. At the beginning of this season, I only needed 2 deer for the freezer. I was in pretty good shape. And I got one right off with the muzzleloader before rifle season even started. So I decided to hold out for a really nice buck for my second deer. And I saw a lot of deer during rifle season. I mean, a lot of them. But I never saw anything with any size to it. Well, then my back locked up about the second week of rifle season, and here we are a few weeks later and well into the rut and several chiropractor trips later. So I'm still after that big one. Now, we had several spots to choose from, all public land, and I know all the spots pretty well, but I don't know that that's going to help us right now. And the reason being because the rut is in, and these places have had a lot of pressure on them since opening day. So we're just going to see what we got. And where we ended up going is a clear cut I've shown before on the map. There's good deer in the area. I don't have a specific big deer anywhere right now to get on. And a lot of that's due to me not doing enough scouting in the preseason. And one really nice deer I had to get on this year. Well, a lot of other people hunted that spot, and he left there quick. Well, I was afraid he might. That's part of public land. But with the rut kicking in, I know we've got a lot of does in this particular place. So there could be a nice buck come through here anytime. And there could be a nice buck locked in with does right now. So where do you hunt when the deer are so unpredictable? Well, that is the problem, isn't it? I have no clue. This is that time of year where, you just got to go in there and see what happens. We're here right at the crack of dawn today. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit an oak ridge that I normally don't hit. I normally stay out of there, and any place I'm hunting, I'll pick an area that just it's off limits. Okay, for instance, the roadbed I've been hunting. I don't mind going there. Deer used to scent there. You stay there and, you're not going to blow anything out of the area. Well, there's one spot in particular in here in Low Oak Ridge that I've never gone in there, but that's the key to this whole area. That's where all the deer are always coming and going from. Well, today, we're going in there. I need a big deer, and that's probably where he's going to come from. And I'm also hoping on the back side we'll be able to watch a good portion of this clear cut, which is why I brought the Ruger number 1 and 270 today. We're fixing to go in some thick stuff, but I'm hoping we're going to be able to watch about a 300, maybe 400 yard stretch of clear cut. And with the rut being in and a lot of does in this area, it should work out pretty nice. Nothing to do but try it, so let's get in the woods. And it's crack of dawn right now. Usually I'm in the woods well before daylight, but since we're going to be easing in here, and this is a spot I don't go into, so I don't have any tree picked out or any place to hunt in here. I needed to wait till right at daylight so we could see going in, just so we could see what we're doing. And it's probably going to be some really thick stuff back in here. Just hopefully we find an opening. Wind's out of the northwest, so we're gonna ease down this little road right here and slip in on the back side of this place. And by staying on the dirt road, that keeps our scent where deer used to scent being, and it also keeps the noise out here where there used to noise being. There's a lot of luck involved as far as being in the right place at the right time during the rut. But the big thing right now is just being out there. The more time we can spend in the woods right now, the more chances we have of a really nice buck making a mistake and stepping out in front of us. So this is any time of the day right now, not just morning. This is morning, midday, evening, you name it. You've got a chance of seeing a big buck right now, either with does or looking for does. This is a really good looking place back in here. It's a lot more open than I thought it was going to be. And I doubt seriously many people's been here. In fact, I don't think anybody has. This big cedar tree right here. Well, that's just a good sign. And the bonus tip for today is after that Thanksgiving feast, bring plenty of toilet paper. It could come in handy. Just saying. Okay, well, we're on the backside, or getting close to the backside of the clear cut. And this whole area in here, it's pockets of little open areas surrounded by just almost impenetrable walls of briars, almost hedgerows. Yeah, some thick stuff between these pockets. And it looks like it's starting to open up a little bit in the clear cut. All right, that oak ridge coming in, it's above us now. We're actually dropping off into a bottom. Look pretty good. The problem is the adjoining property, a hunting club's got it leased out. It just got clear cut and it's wide open up there, which explains some things. It had seemed like the deer had shifted further back in here. Well, that makes sense. Being so open up there now versus what it was last year pushed the deer further back. So we got a choice. We could either go on out into the clear cut and try to find an opening where we can see a long ways, or we can keep going through here, this impenetrable stuff, and I think there's going to be an opening somewhere at the bottom of this. Well, I hadn't really been impressed with what I seen up on top of the ridge. Again, they're so open, they clear cut it. What it being so open up here now and the deer not hitting it, they're not going to be as likely to come out into the clear cut now, especially a big one. Now, the rut's in, anything could happen right now. But that explains why I never saw a decent deer earlier in the year when I was seeing so many. The smaller deer, they're out in the clear cut big ones. He was staying away from it. I guarantee you he was further on this backside. But again, the rut's on, so yeah, we're just going to keep covering ground, and hey, we got all day to do it, so no rush, and learning a few more things about the area. I made it to the old roadbed in here that I've hunted quite a few times, and it's a good place. We're about a mile back in here now. But I noticed it was odd. I could see fresh tracks from some equipment on the roadbed there. Well, now I know what's going on. The Forestry Service has been in here spraying herbicide. What they'll do is they'll have somebody come through with a sprayer, handheld sprayer, and then they'll go hit all the trees that aren't pine trees, basically. They want to grow pines and then cut them in a few years and sell them. So that's not helping our cause any. And I could tell that the scrapings on the road here, they were fresh, real fresh. This hunting, that's something you're not going to know till you get into a place like this. So I think we're going to start working our way out of here. We're going to sit up in the corner in this roadbed, catch our breath, and then contemplate what to do next. We might dive on further in here. Anyway, that's the plan for now. That's what I meant by signs of equipment. Look like they've had a tractor in here with some harrows behind it. Oh well, that's part of it, but I do see some fresh tracks on this bare ground here. Be a good place to see some tracks from a nice buck. But all I'm seeing right now is does. And not that many really fresh tracks. We're back at the truck, or the Xterra rather. And that didn't go anything like I had hoped it would on that hunt. Hey, that's part of hunting. And I started to sit there and watch for a little while, but I didn't see a sign. We covered a lot of ground in here today. I mean, a lot of ground. I never jumped a deer, never spooked a deer, never saw any fresh signs from deer. So yeah, the rut's in, and I could have sat there, and anything's possible during the rut. A bigger one could have came out at any second. But the odds of that happening weren't looking very good for this place. So rather than just sit there hoping, something walks out, I decided, okay, it's time to go on and pack up, head out of here, even though it's still early, still prime hunting time, and go find a place where I feel confident that I do have a chance to see a deer. And normally I wouldn't show a hunting video without having got something, because I mean, that's bottom line. It's just boring watching hunting videos, somebody just sitting out in the woods. But this is one I felt like I needed to show because I didn't sit there. And there's times you've got to make a judgment call. Okay, do I need to go find some place that I do have confidence in? Because I just don't have any in here. And if you're sitting in a place where you don't have confidence, I mean, you're just sitting out in the woods then, and it doesn't take but a few trips like that, and you get to questioning, well, why am I even hunting? Just sitting out here in the woods like this, there's a lot of other things I could be doing. So yeah, we're going to call it a wraps on this place and go find a place where I do have some confidence. And we still got time in the season. I might get a decent deer before this is over. We'll find out. But I know the rut's probably starting to wane by now. It's been going on for at least a good week, and it's probably peaked already. But there's still a buck out here somewhere looking for a doe. We just got to go find him. And I almost forgot. God bless and have a good day.